Hey, Craig here, Diggs Rod Shop, and I'm here to give you an update on the 1932 Ford 5-window barn find today. I've done several things to it to upgrade, and you guys remember the video I took you to the table and I showed you the air cleaner and the oil pan and things like that I was going to change out on it. Well, I've kind of started doing that change out. Over the weekend, I ran into a few snags. And I wanted to run a newer style carburetor. Remember that black one that I told you about that I was going to do some testing on it? Well, we tested it on another car, worked just fine. I went to put it on the 32 and I had to have an adapter. Well, I bought the adapter for it and I put it on. I just didn't like it. One thing led to another and I just made several changes. So here's what I did over the weekend. So this is the original intake. If you want to take a look at, this is the aluminum intake that it came with. This is that 327. You can see it's a GM. If you run the numbers on this thing, you also find that this thing's off of a 1963 Corvette. Now that's that configuration for that AFB carburetor, which did work just fine. It had a little bit of a leak to it, but I decided that I'm going to upgrade this thing. And I will also tell you that I had a few people mention that they didn't really like that big snorkel air cleaner on it too. I am going to trade that out too. I bought another one. So come on over here. If you want to walk around that side, I'll just kind of point some things out that I've done. Okay. So one of the main things you've seen is that I replaced the valve covers that had the chrome valve covers on it from the factory, which are again original 1963 Corvette chrome valve covers. I pulled those off. I opted for these aluminum finned ones, which, you know, some guys would say that's a downplay, but I'm trying to get the look of this thing just a little bit better. So that's why I did that. The other thing I did is I took that Zips water pump off of there so that I could actually get this fan on here. This is a cooling components fan. I wanted to run an electric fan, and I got away with that, or got away from that flex fan that was on it. A, it was dangerous. B, there's no shroud on it, so it really wasn't cooling, and I was pushing a little bit of fluid back. It wasn't getting up to about 195, 200, but it still wanted to push a little fluid, so I just opted for that electric fan. The other thing that I did was I put that short water pump on here so I could get the cooling components fan on. I had to notch it. A little bit of clearance right there, not too bad. It does leave about the last 5 inches of that radiator, you know, not getting any flow across of it, but I got the main right here, and I think this is going to be pretty good because this is actually cooling the engine at the same time, the whole top half. The other thing I did is I upgraded to a one-wire alternator, black, to match everything else. We ended up putting a Allen Grove, modified an Allen Grove bracket for that. I'm going to put air conditioning on it eventually, so I do have the other bracket side for this one over here. Okay, the other thing that I did, obviously, I took and changed out those ram horn exhaust manifolds on there. And these are just an exhaust manifold too, not really a header, but it's a cast iron ceramic coated ram horn header. And you can see that on that side right there. The other upgrade that I did is I went to an Edelbrock. I like USA, and I stayed with USA made. The other thing I'll tell you about Edelbrock, I've got the air gap on this one here with that dual plane with the notch taken out of it. So this is the Performer is what it is. Really, really nice intake. At the same time, I wanted to power this thing with something that was American made. So I've got that Brawler carburetor on there. That is a 600 CFM. That is a dual feed, and it is a manual set of secondaries in this one right here. So I think this little engine can probably handle that. It's got the 202 double hump heads on it. So I think it's going to breathe pretty good. One thing that I did also, I changed this over to an MSD electronic ignition. Now, when I pulled the ignition out of it, I thought it was going to be points ignition, and it was not. It was the original distributor for the 63 Vet with the gear drive on it, but that particular distributor had already been changed over to electronic. So with that said, I was already there. I already had this purchased. I'm just going to upgrade it to MSD. The one last thing I needed to do was put an air cleaner on this thing. So I had that big snorkel looking thing on that. I got a few comments, and I agree that was kind of big and lunky. I got another one, but here, I'll put it on real quick. I like this one because of the way that it can breathe through the top and all the way around. but it doesn't really match what I've got going on. Actually, it's a little too black. It's nice looking. But with that said, and what I didn't realize that came in the mail today was this one. You guys tell me what you think of this one here. And again, I like this one right here. It just kind of, I think, fits everything that I've got going on I'll put that down there later. But anyway, you guys get the gist of it right there. I think that that actually matches this engine pretty good. So with that said, I think I'm going to run that one right there. I like it. Last thing I need to have is that fuel rail for the dual feed. I'm waiting on that, and then the coupe's going to be ready to go. The next video is going to be the top. And again, remember, it's a Giuliano's top from about 15, 16 years ago, and it's new in the package. It all looks good. I'm going to put that on there, and I'll do a video of putting that top on there too. So I'm going to go ahead and get it in the air real quick for you, and I'm going to show you what I've done underneath of this car too. I took it uptown to our local exhaust shop. While I had it up there, I went ahead and had them change a couple things out. I had to have pipes made for these new ram horn ceramic coated headers on this thing. So I had to have it reconnected. In the process of reconnecting that, I went ahead and had them put electric dumps on it. Doug's Headers dumps, and they're the best on the market as far as I'm concerned. With that said, at a push of a button, I can open the headers on it. Push of a button, I can close it back up and run it out the back. So let me get you up there. Okay, that's as far as that goes. Come on under here and I'll give you a little bit of look-see of what I've done. So this is the Doug's Headers right here. These are the dumps. And with that said, a push of a button, I can go to open headers and just kind of dump a little bit of sound out of each side. So anyway, I had Tim and Terry up at Fred's Muffler Shop do that for me. They did a real good job. Backing up here just a little bit too, I'll also tell you, this car had been sitting for like 10 years. This system underneath this thing, this is a Pete and Jake's, and I think that was been maybe 20 years ago that all was bought. Well, all these rubber bushings were worn out too, so I ended up buying a rubber bushing kit and for all the Hymens, and I have replaced everything in there, or had Aaron do that for me. When I got it, most of the grease zerks weren't even in their grease zerks, so it's all been put in, and then all the tie rod ends and ball joints, they've been greased now too. I've got a little cleaning up to do on the chrome, but other than that, I'm waiting for the dual feed line. Once that's here, coupe's going to be on the road again. So yeah, there it is right there. So that's the update of what I've done. Like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. We're about 300 subscribers away from being monetized, and it's up to you guys to get us there. So please share the videos too. We really appreciate it. This is Craig with Diggs Rod Shop, signing out.